Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 34th Annual Great Lakes Day. Great Lakes Day is sponsored by Michigan Sea Grant, Michigan State University Institute of Water Research, Department of Fisheries and Wildlife, and MSU Extension as a part of A&R Week at Michigan State University. My name is Angela Scapini, and I'll be your MC for the day. Next, I'd like to start out with a land acknowledgement. We collectively acknowledge that Michigan State University occupies the ancestral, traditional, and contemporary lands of the Anishinaabe, Three Fires Confederacy of Ojibwe, Odawa, and Potawatomi peoples. In particular, the university resides on land ceded in the 1819 Treaty of Saginaw. We recognize, support, and advocate for the sovereignty of Michigan's 12 federally recognized Indian nations, for historic Indigenous communities in Michigan, for Indigenous individuals and communities who live here now, and for those who were forcibly removed from their homelands. By offering this land acknowledgement, we affirm Indigenous sovereignty and will work to hold Michigan State University more accountable to the needs of American Indian and Indigenous peoples. I'd like to acknowledge that MSU is an equal opportunity employer, and our programs are open to all. Again, my name is Angela Scapini, and I'm an extension educator serving the shoreline from St. Clair down to Monroe counties in Southeast Michigan. I work with local communities, partners, and networks promoting Great Lakes literacy and community resiliency through place-based education programs. I'd also like to introduce my Sea Grant colleague, Brandon Schroeder. Brandon is a senior extension educator. He works with coastal communities and businesses in Northeast Michigan to apply science-based knowledge to address Great Lakes and Northern Lake Huron issues. He also focuses on place-based environmental education that highlights the Great Lakes. His districts include Sheboygan, Presque Isle, Alpena, Alcona, and Iosco counties. Let's get this party started. Brandon and I and our Sea Grant colleagues want to share with you about Great Lakes literacy through the Great Lakes literacy principles. Let's cue the film.
Hey, are you Great Lakes literate? Can you name our 5 Great Lakes?
Huron, Ontario, Michigan, Erie, and Superior.
That was fantastic. Michigan is indeed home and at the heart of our Great Lakes. They literally define the shape of our state and are so much a part of who we are. Exactly why it is so important that we understand and appreciate these incredible resources and our connections and roles in stewardship. This is Great Lakes literacy. A Great Lakes literate person understands essential principles and fundamental concepts about the characteristics, functioning, and value of the Great Lakes. They can communicate accurately about the Great Lakes' influence on systems and people in and beyond their watershed, and they are able to make informed and responsible decisions regarding the Great Lakes and the resources of their watershed. So let's explore some of these essential principles.
Literacy principle number 1. The Great Lakes, bodies of fresh water with many features, are connected to each other and to the world ocean. Imagine you're a drop of water. As snow or rain, you've fallen onto the land. Now you will flow from the land into a river. That river then flows into Lake Superior. Where do you go next? Through the Soo Locks, into Sault Ste. Marie, into Lake Michigan and Lake Huron. Next up on the journey is to flow through the Detroit River, Lake St. Clair, and into Lake Erie. Now it gets really exciting because you're headed over Niagara Falls into Lake Ontario. But you don't stop there. You continue through the St. Lawrence Seaway, passing Lake Champlain, before ending up in the Atlantic and our world's ocean. Whew, what a journey! All of these waters are truly connected.
Literacy principle number 2 is natural forces form the Great Lakes. The lakes continue to shape the features of their watershed. Many thousands of years ago, mile-thick sheets of ice covered the Great Lakes region multiple times. The forces of these glaciers scoured and formed our Great Lakes as we know them today. Wind and water continue to shape our Great Lakes. We see this in the changing lake levels, movement of sand along coastal shorelines, and shifting sand dunes. This is why the Great Lakes are dynamic and ever-changing.
Literary principle number 3. The Great Lakes influence local and regional weather and climate. The Great Lakes affect weather and climate by impacting the basin's energy and water cycles. Changes in the Great Lakes water circulation, water temperatures, and ice cover can produce changes in weather patterns. Because water temperatures change more slowly than land temperatures, lake waters gain heat in the summer and release heat during the cooler months. This results in cooler springs, warmer falls, delayed frosts, and lake effect snow. Climate patterns in the Great Lakes are changing, with warmer and drier conditions predicted.
Literacy principle 4 is water makes Earth habitable. Fresh water sustains life on land. On our blue planet, more than 70% of our Earth is covered in water. Less than 3% of this water is fresh water, which supports all life on land. 20% of the world's surface fresh water available on the surface of our entire planet surrounds us right here in the Great Lakes. Water is essential for life.
Great Lakes Literacy Principle 5 is the Great Lakes support a broad diversity of life and ecosystems. The Great Lakes ecosystem provides a diversity of habitats for both land and water species, from the smallest blue-green bacteria to the largest fish in the Great Lakes, the lake sturgeon. More than 170 species of fish swim these waters. In Lake Huron's coastal habitats alone, scientists have documented more than 1,400 different species, roughly evenly split among plants and animals. People are also a connected part of these ecosystems. We benefit from these connections in so many ways: food, fresh water, clean air, beautiful native plants, and more. It's important to recognize when our actions harm the ecosystems around us and take steps to help rebuild and strengthen those vital connections.
Literacy Principle 6 is, the Great Lakes and humans and their watershed are inextricably interconnected. The Great Lakes affect many human lives. They supply fresh water to more than 40 million people. They are a source of drinking water and food, as well as mineral and energy resources. A watershed is an area of land where all of the rain and melting snow drains to a single body of water. Nearly all of Michigan's watersheds eventually flow into one of the Great Lakes. The Great Lakes are affected by the actions of people who live and work throughout its watershed. Local and national laws, regulations, and resource management affect what is put into and taken out of the Great Lakes. Coastal development, industry, and other land uses impact the Great Lakes. To ensure continued availability of Great Lakes resources, people, both individually and collectively, must live in ways that sustain and conserve the Great Lakes for the benefit of all.
Literacy Principle 7 is, much remains to be learned about the Great Lakes. Understanding the Great Lakes is more than a matter of curiosity. Exploration, inquiry, and monitoring promote better understanding and protection of Great Lakes ecosystems, resources, and processes. These efforts also require close collaboration among professionals in science, technology, engineering, and math, as well as public outreach and education. From modern-day science to traditional teachings passed down from generation to generation, we can remain vigilant of this knowledge and share its importance to others. The sustainability of Great Lakes depends on our current understanding and perseverance of diving into the unknown.
Literacy principle number 8. The Great Lakes are socially, economically, and environmentally significant to the region, the nation, and our planet. The Great Lakes are a source of inspiration, recreation, rejuvenation, and discovery. The Great Lakes influence our culture, activities, and the health of our coastal areas and our state. The Great Lakes also contribute to our diverse economy, including industry, recreation and tourism, agriculture, commercial and sport fisheries, forestry, mining, and more. The waters of the Great Lakes have been central in shaping how people of many cultures have lived in this region, past, present, and in our future. Our Great Lakes are indeed socially, economically, and environmentally significant to our region, our nation, and our planet. We hope that you will find these Great Lakes literacy and learning threads in our conversation today.
As you'll see, the Great Lakes literacy principles will be reflected in each presentation today. I challenge you to think of which principles apply to each presentation.